Senate President Godswill Akpabio says that coup d'etat is not the solution to Nigeria's problem. Military takeover of government is not the solution to Nigeria's problem. Then what is the solution to Nigeria's problem? These people are afraid that Nigerians are calling for a military takeover, especially the last protest where the Northerners are begging the military, please take over from these guys. These guys are useless, and with time they are going to totally destroy Nigeria and bring Nigeria to its knees. These guys are afraid that the military might take over. Probably that might be the reason for this statement from Akpabio. Lest I forget, DSS boss has been sacked, resigned, or whatever, because it is very hard for you to see a public officer resign in Nigeria, especially under APC government. So let's say he resigned, NIA boss also resigned. These guys were instrumental to the rendition, the kidnap, the abduction, whatever, the seizure of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. Illegal rendition, kidnap, abduction. All words might fit into it. These guys tortured civilians, infringed on the rights of Nigerians and well-meaning agitators. Now that he has been offloaded from the system, can we have Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Can you release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or rather take him to Kirikiri? He's in DSS custody and his rights are being infringed. So Mr. Akpabio, one of the reasons why people don't want the civilian rule kind of government is because the abuse of human rights, the abuse of the franchise of every Nigerian. Civil rule in Nigeria is getting more worse, even to the extent that people prefer that a military rules the government than civilian. No matter how many years that we fought against the military rule, now within 25 years of civilian rule, people are calling for a government that will be ruled by people in khaki. That shows a lot. Now that DSS boss have been relieved of his duties, this particular man, can we have Nnamdi Kanu back? Because we need peace in the southeast. We need peace, tranquility in the southeast. Southeast is not known for all these killings and tensions that is happening. The reasons why you are seeing agitations is because of injustice, fairness, inequity. And this is always the bedmark of the Nigerian government. You don't expect to pinch a baby and not expect it to cry. You cannot hit somebody and not expect that person to react. The foundation of the problems we are having is because of injustice. Injustice. And this injustice is being paraded. It is being made open. You throw it at the face of a particular section of the country. So now that the DSS boss has been relieved of his duty, can we have Nnamdi Kanu back? If you're standing for the rights of human beings that are the composition, people who make up Nigeria. Now we have Arewa. In the north, there's what we call Arewa House. Arewa is a nationality in Nigeria. And these Arewa House are functioning. They are functioning. In the southwest, we have OPC, Oduduwa People's Congress. And these guys are functioning. They collect levies. They are institutional. Arewa is institutional in Nigeria. Then we have Biafra. Biafra is now the black sheep amongst all these people. So when you call yourself a Biafran, some people come and tell you that we are all Nigeria. Those people that are calling themselves OPC, are they not Nigerians? Those people calling themselves Arewa, are they not Nigerians? So all these open bigotry hatred is what is necessitating a Simon Ekpa to wanting to take advantage of the movement of the evil that the Nigerian government has done on the Igbo people, on the Southeasterners, calling them a dot in a circle, 5 plots of lands. These guys are taking advantage of the situation to make sure that they demand for Nnamdi Kanu's release. We shouldn't be here at this point in time if the government has done the needful or is willing to show signs of political will to do the needful. As an Igbo man, we understand people and understand what they may be capable of. When you see, when you see reactions from a certain tribe, a certain section of the country, they see the future. They see what is going to happen in front. When we are making choice of presidents that are going to rule Nigeria, look at all the persons that has been voted in by, let's say, the Southeast. You can see how they are fared compared with what every other opposing figures voted. The Igbos did not support Buhari. The Igbos did not support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And you can see the disaster we are facing, laced with propaganda, lies, deceit, and manipulation. So now we are calling for the government to make sure that they do what is right. You see, the human life is precious, so let's preserve human lives. Let's stop the killings in the Southeast, because the foundation of all this we need to be dealt with. The root of the cause needs to be dealt with. Nnamdi Kanu should be released, or rather given a fair trial. Because from all indications, I believe that this out-of-court settlement is something that will come up in the next time he's going to show up in the court in September. We believe that after the judge has told the two parties to go and reconcile, we believe that the federal government and the IPOB have come to a conclusion, to a compromise whereby they can release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. A whole lot of things is happening in the Southeast that most people don't understand. Let me tell you of the truth. People are confused on what is happening in the Southeast. An Igbo man needs to verify. An Igbo man needs to be sure of what he's doing. If an Igbo man trusts you, you have convinced him beyond reasonable doubt. So many confusions in the Southeast, so many killings, so many uncertainty. People don't know what next. People are afraid to travel home because they might be kidnapped, not even by police, by locals. Now, the insecurity created by the Nigerian government has spiraled into various other things that are happening there that will not make the place become peaceful, will not make the place become habitable. There is development that is being planned for the Southeast. It is only peace that can bring that development. So the president has a single job to do, and that job is to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the job he has to do. But if he doesn't want to do it, we ain't going to force the Nigerian government to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You see, he's a hostage, as far as we understand, as we believe, he's a hostage that was kidnapped from a particular place and put in a facility where he's not supposed to be if he were to be facing trial. This is persecution. This is incarceration. This is not trial. The message you're sending to the Southeasterners is not a good message. The message they are receiving from the body language of the government is not a good message. I repeat again, now that the DSS, those that masterminded the incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have stepped down or resigned or have been sacked, let's have Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is what we want. Somebody may ask you, why are you supporting Nnamdi Kanu? I made an instance. I said that the Nigerian society is polarized. When you look around you and you're in the political atmosphere, you know that the country is already divided. Just a matter of time. I said you have Arewa, you have Oduduwa, you have some other nationalities. Some people call themselves the Ijaw Nation. Then you have Biafra. These guys are marking their boundaries day by day. Marking their boundaries day by day. The more you keep Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, you are going to oil the engine of balkanization. See, the more you keep him, the more people think about leaving Nigeria. The more people are resolved saying we don't be part of Nigeria. If the government is to be wise in that aspect, if you have released him long time ago, and you find ways to adjust and make sure that these guys are inclusive, you stem down the tide. But yet, everybody is bent on what he or she wants. Tinubu once said that he does not believe in one Nigeria. And when a politician like that, like Tinubu, makes a statement, my brother, take it to the bank. That kind of statement. So far, Tinubu has said it. He believes in it. Die. Whatever that is being done now is just to gain more ground. You can see the Lagos Calabar, the project, 15 trillion. You can see a refinery in the southwest. You can see most of Nigeria's assets in the southwest. Now, if there is a balkanization of Nigeria, who is going to be well advantaged in terms of ready infrastructure? They are closer to the sea that they can import. They are diplomatic people that can find a way to lure you to be part of them, use you to make wealth. They are very good at that, diplomacy. One thing that the Igbos don't have, Igbos are mostly emotional to a fault. You can provoke an Igbo man and he gives you straight up. But the Yoruba man, if you provoke a Yoruba man, he studies when to strike. That is diplomacy. When to act, not to act, and when to strike. That is why most of us, we are confused about the agitation in the southeast from some elements and some quarters. Nobody knows where he needs to stand, because logically, the insecurity in the southeast should not get to this point if the government had done the needful. If the government had released Nnamdi Kanu, we will not be hearing all this. Ohaneze said this one. Southeast governor said this one. Samonekpa says this one. This one says that one. This issue would have been nipped in the bud. This issue would have been taken care of in the first place. And for some people that say, I run propaganda, please, when you have your free time, check for the word propaganda, or you type propaganda in journalism. So understand what that means. You can use the word freely, might not understand what it means. Now we are pushing a narrative, and that narrative is that the solution to the country called Nigeria is a separate entity, separate entities. That is the solution, because Nigeria as united is at least almost beyond repair. Those calling for the unity of Nigeria are directly feasting. They are directly taking from the resources. They are enjoying the good of the land against millions and millions of Nigerians that are suffering. It is only a decentralization that will bring good governance to the people. I always say this, and I don't mince words. Now Samonekpa wants to lock down the Southeast government agencies. We are sitting down, we are watching what is going to happen. But my stand, it remains my stand, is that the solution to the problem Nigeria is facing is not Nigeria being together as a federal state. Is Nigeria being decentralized. And if it is decentralized, the cabal that are holding Nigeria ransom will lose their power. Nigeria is not moving forward because of a cabal, a set of people that have decided to manipulate the system to their own favor, and they are very few. The national cake and their greed, the greed for embezzling funds, our commonwealth, will make it hard for you and I in the next 10 years to survive. So when you take this Nigeria from your hand and share it into pieces, that is when you are going to get good governance, at least for the first 20 years. I repeat myself, the issue we are having in Nigeria, if Nigeria divides today to Arewa, Oduduwa and Biafra, we will have similar problems that has to do with the rich and the poor. The problem is there, class society is different class, this class and that class. Among Yoruba, there are classes of people. In the Igbo language, in the Igbo land, there are classes of people. Arewa, their class. But you see, because of the competition between other tribes, these guys at the upper class would want to deliver good governance to the people, should show off that, okay, Biafra is much more progressing than Oduduwa. Oduduwa is moving forward than Arewa. We are going to prove a point with regionalism, restructuring, or balkanization. That is why I'm calling for this. You can still be anywhere you are. International laws, yeah, your international rights, they cover you. Does not mean that, okay, now we have Biafra, then all Igbos start leaving Lagos, because that's the black man mentality. If that gets to that, there's nothing that's not possible. Everybody leaves Lagos. In fact, the reasons why we are calling for peace in the South is that Igbo sons and daughters should start thinking on how to take investments home. Make Southeast a place that people need to go to. What keeps a place is population. Why would Lagos be one of the best cities in Nigeria? Is the population. Take population away, nothing happens. Because all these things you are going to import, sell, the policies, taxes you are going to collect from people. And the number of people, I believe Lagos has the largest population in Nigeria. The number of people determines the economic activities. The economic activities determines the taxes that the government will take, and it also attracts development. It causes competition and gets development. The population. Why not we think Southeast? Go to Southeast, develop for our unborn and unborn children. That is why we are calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, so that there will be peace in that Southeast. Enough is enough. But when we refuse to do what is needed, you see, there's one thing that will never be stopped. Biafra can never be stopped. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years. The spirit to be free cannot be subdued, cannot be caged. You cannot cage somebody who is determined to be free. That is why agitations don't die. Agitations don't die. I know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to secure his 8 years. I will repeat it again. He will do everything to secure his 8 years. I know. But you see, you cannot rule over ashes. And if you are from the Southwest and you are listening to me, this current system would not favor you and your family. But when we have an Oduduwa, the masses would get premium development, premium dividends of democracy, of leadership. The best of the best will rule. For instance, now, if we have Oduduwa, would you support Tinubu to become the president? No. Most people will say no. In fact, I've asked a lot of people. Some will not want to answer because of probably they will be ashamed because they were supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the election, but they wouldn't want him to become president of the Oduduwa nation. So that silence gave them out by saying yes. When we go separate, we will not demand to choose the best amongst us. There will be fights, so there will be disagreements, but at the end, when we see a particular section organizing themselves, we would want to organize ourselves in Biafra, in Oduduwa, in Arewa. Tinubu being there is for his political allies, his family members, and those that his APC, whatever. Even all the APC members cannot get the dividends of Tinubu's democratic government. Buhari, under Buhari, most APC Northerners died. Even one popular APC supporter was kidnapped along that Kaduna. He paid ransom. He went through a whole lot. So the police of the government will not favor you and leave others. If the suffering is going to be there, everybody go suffer and join. These people don't send you. So now I'm calling on the government, now that DSS director has, let's say it's a former, Bichi has been removed, sacked, or resigned. Please, let's have Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you.